Hi, I'm Dave Epstein. Welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom, and today we're talking about some late winter, early spring pruning. I'm standing in front of a spruce and a chamaecyparis, and I like to keep these fairly tight. I like to keep them down. I like to keep them in a little bit because we're in this part of the yard and I don't want them to creep into the yard. So the way that I work is I kind of step back. I take a look at what the plant looks like. I think in my head, how much do I want to bring them down? How much do I want to bring them in? And also, do I want to be able to see through them? Am I taking out branches that are connected to the main trunk? So I've already done some work on this particular chamaecyparis. I have given it a little more airiness so that you can see through it a little bit better. You can go into these branches, into this, and really, you could take something like that out if you wanted to. I tend to leave my structure of these plants a little bit denser, but I'm still able to see some light coming through. I also tend to bring them down, and this is a multi-year kind of thing where this year I took down some of that side. I might take some of this side down next year, then I'll go back over here. So I'm kind of alternating where I'm pruning so that I'm not necessarily pruning the whole thing in one year. Now, with the spruce over here, it's a little bit different. This plant gets very bulky, grows very fast. I tend to really be aggressive with it in my pruning. It's also really great cover for birds, so I notice a lot of birds in here. So in that case, I tend to leave some of the denseness of it because during the summer, a lot of the birds kind of go in there, especially if the hawk's coming by. And when they're feeding, they go in, and then they come out and they go to the feeders and things like that. So these are my two plants that I'll be pruning today. I'll give you a couple of little shows on what I'm pruning. I also, in terms of after I prune, I'll do some fertilization. And this is late winter, early spring. This is for me when I like to get this done. I'm not really gardening per se. So when I have the light like this, I'm able to get some of this work accomplished so that when it warms up and I'm actually doing planting and weeding and all of that, I'm not pruning. So let's get to it. Whenever you're going to make a cut, one of the things I like to do is just sort of look back at the branch, see where I've got something else coming out. So here, we're going to make this cut right there, and this branch will take over. And I kind of do that all around, and I've been doing this for a number of years. You can see, actually, if you look closely, I give you a look. See that cut right there? So that was made, I think, last year, pretty heavy cut, and this is the growth that filled that in. So you want to go through these evergreens and bring them down. If you don't like the height of them, you can bring that down. You can bring in the width. But the important thing is to look for an area. What I don't want to do is just, willy-nilly sort of cut like this, right? And then it's just, you got this branch right here. What's going to happen is these on either side will kind of fill in around it. So if I were going to think that that was a proper cut it a little bit closer to some new growth like that. And then this will kind of hide that. You want to look for where you can hide things. So here's another area. Here's, again, what you don't want to do. I've got a nice branch back there. I've got this. I don't want to kind of just go through and just cut like that and have that ugly piece there. What I would want to do is go back to a branch there, and now this would grow. I'm not going to do that. I actually don't like the way that looks. I would probably go a little bit further in, and then this little guy there could take over, and then that's hidden a little bit more. So that's kind of what you want to be doing this time of the year. Again, I love doing the pruning in late winter and early spring on these evergreens. They just take it really well, and it's a good use of my time. Another plant you can be pruning this time of the year are the hellebores. The leaves actually don't look that bad right now, but there's the flower buds, which will be out in another, 8 weeks or so. You can start taking the leaves back here. It is a bit chilly out, so I do have my heated socks on. I want to show you what these are. These are a pair of heated socks that I really like from Field Share. They're made of wool and they're heated, and I'll show you how they work. To control the socks, you just use the handy little app. And there it is. I've got the left sock not that warm because it's not that cold out. Check the right as well. If it was a little cold on my feet, I could turn it up. You can see the battery's fully charged. The higher you have the temperature obviously the shorter amount of time the batteries are going to last. So there you have it. Pruning in late winter and early spring can really give you a jump on gardening. It's a great time of the year to be doing these things, especially before they start to leaf out, or in this case, needle out later on in the spring and early summer. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.